family, how y'all doing? It's your girl, your diva in knowledge. Lady Mocha represent Mocha's Cafe de Paris. So I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Want to give a big up to all of my subscribers. I cannot even tell y'all how grateful I am, how appreciative I am of all of you still riding with me, still support me, even though I may do topics or contents that you may not necessarily agree with. I still appreciate y'all for being open-minded and not being closed off just because we have a difference in opinion. Those of you who recently subscribed, you just joined my platform, I thank you. Welcome you to Mocha's Cafe de Paris family. So as y'all can see, I haven't been uploading lately. I am doing different projects. I just started my own business and making customized tumblers, so I'm doing that. I still got my hot oils for my hair, or for my ladies with hair follicle issues. I also got beard oil for my men, and I'm also selling cable. So y'all, I'm trying to get it. I'm doing a little bit of everything, you feel me? So nevertheless, with all that being said, there is a point in time when I still feel a need to address certain issues and certain things that affect the Black community as a whole, whether if it's pertaining to Black men or the Black women. But in this reference, this is a constant and consistent issue that is still currently occurring amongst Black women in the Black community. And the problem is we have a lot of sisters that are failing to exercise womb care. And the reason I felt it was very imperative that I talked about this is because I personally feel that the reason the majority of Black women are always on the edge, are always hostile, ready to, shoot all the bullets out in their chamber, ready to always ready to blow up, like a grenade, always on the edge, just walking, ticking time bombs, ready to snap at any given moment. And I know this is not the case for every Black woman. So if it does not apply, you don't have to reply. I don't understand why a lot of sisters don't understand that. If someone is saying something that's offensive to you, they're poking the bear, or the content is very defensive or offensive, is stepping on your toes, then you simply just don't have to view it. You don't always have to go in the comment section and explain your situation, because I get it. There's an exception to every rule. Not every woman has had children out of ulterior motives, but the truth is a lot of them have. And if you don't fit the bill, then, if you will, just exit the stage gracefully. You don't have to respond to everybody that has content, or doing any type of topics pertaining to single mothers, because a lot of you get offensive, and you get defensive very quick, and you come under the comment section, you want to do 2-3 paragraphs, or you have to explain your side of the story, and that's not necessary. I'm not no big time content creator for you to have to explain your situation or circumstance to. Now, if you want to talk to me as a grown woman without bringing all that negative energy, because you have a certain situation, you might need some advice or something upon, you're welcome to email me. And to the best of my ability, I will try my best to guide you, but at the same time, if you want advice, at least you could do is look out and send a little cash app or something, because again, time and money is very valuable. So I don't mind, trying to help a sister out who's in a situation and she just needs some advice on how to think herself through, because I am a mother, so I get it. But this is a consistent issue that is plaguing Black women in the Black community, is the lack thereof of womb care. Meaning, you have a lot of sisters that are not taking care of their womb. All right. And I know it is not just Black women. You have many women of other races as well who also have this problem. I know a few Trailer Park Beckys that have multiple baby daddies from different Black men as well, and nobody really addresses them, and I'm addressing them as well. So it does not matter your ethnic race, or your culture, if this is a decision that you have made and it's affecting your mental well-being, it's affecting you financially, it's affecting you spiritually, then nevertheless it applies to you. Again, if it doesn't apply, just let it fly. This again, all single mothers don't have this problem. If you're a single mother, you handle your business, um where you went wrong, you take full accountability, and you're not going around here holding grudges or being mad with all black men or whatever because of poor decisions you made. Then I commend you for being one in the few that take accountability and you accept it, and you're not bickering or complaining about it. You're you know what I'm saying, you're maintaining, you're not allowing your poor decision to make you not be the best mother or best woman that you could possibly be to your kids. So I commend you for that. But for the rest of y'all, if the shoe fits, then just wear it. So I want to talk about this lack of womb care, women not protecting their wombs at all costs. And the reason I feel this is imperative, because this is the reason that the majority of so many sisters, so many black women are stressed out and overwhelmed. Again, this does not apply for all black women, but the majority of you, it does. I had a gentleman who reached out to me, and because I have a lot of male subscribers. He basically emailed me and told me that his son's mother, he has a 15-year-old son from a female that he was dealing with back in the day, and it was not really a relationship. It was a physical, more like a physical relationship, a physical thing where they would get up with each other and just, mutually agree to have sex. And that's all it was. This was not somebody he was making his wife, not somebody he had a relationship with. So both of them had that type of understanding. So he thought. Nevertheless, um, of course, when you're consistently being intimate with someone, things happen no matter how much you protect yourself. He insinuated to me that he've always worn protection. So I'm not sure if it was one of those things where there was a condom malfunction, or if she poked a hole in the condom, or he left the condom behind in the wastebasket and she did what she had to do. I don't know the details of all of that, but what I do know is there was a child that was conceived in the process of this sexual occurrence that occurred between the both of them. So of course she filed child support, being that he does have a good paying job. And in result of that, a child, like I said, was conceived, and child support order was granted, so she's getting her child support. Nevertheless, she did not get as much as she was aiming to get. She thought she was going to hit the big lotto, and the judge did not grant her a large amount, but he did give her something enough to maintain, but not enough to where she felt like it would be of benefit to her, not the child so much. So him and the mother, they do communicate, and she's been having a lot of problems with her son. He's at that age in which he's a teenager, and y'all all know when teenagers hit that puberty, they get in a phase in which they start smelling themselves. They become hard-headed. You really can't tell them much. And during puberty, during teenage stage, is when um, children need both parents the most. You know, and there's this myth that only girls need their mothers and only sons need their fathers, when in actuality it takes both to make children. So it takes both to support that child, give that child wisdom and knowledge from a man's point of view and from a woman's point of view. And unfortunately, even though he's been paying his child support and he's been communicating with the child, um that has never been good enough for her. She still is very bitter and resentful due to the fact that she thought having the child was going to get her an advantage in being able to have a relationship with him, only to find out that having a child did not give her that gateway of them being together. So because of that, she's been very resentful, she's been very hateful, and she's been very bitter. And what's been going on is her son is really getting out of control. She's having a lot of disciplinary problems with him. He's talking back. He's being disrespectful. Um, she does not have any control over how he handles her because, again, he's a young man. He's not a baby anymore. He has a mind of his own. He's still mentally and physically developing, and he's transitioning from boyhood. Slowly he's going to be transitioning to manhood because he's 15 now. So he's not that little child that she could just jerk around and talk to all kind of way. He's old enough to understand that his mother is riding on him, basically because she's angry with the father. And he has even regurgitated this to his father, that she's so angry with you that she's taking it out on me. She's telling everybody that I'm acting out, that I'm having problems because of you, instead of her admitting that it's her. This child has made it very clear to his father that he does not resent his father because of the mother. The mother wants him to resent him, and he doesn't. He said he's resenting the mother because he's seeing her for who she truly is. And a lot of black women do not want to believe that their own children, see them for who they are. They feel like once their children start calling them out or saying something to them or getting smart in the mouth with them, or when their own children start exposing them, they automatically want to feel like somebody else is feeding that into them. Somebody is programming them to believe that. A lot of black women do not want to believe that their own children see how fucked up they are. Excuse my French, but we all adults here. If there's any children in the room, I advise you to clear them out. Or if you're listening to me on the speakerphone in your car and your children in there, I don't think this would be an appropriate topic for children. Nevertheless, a lot of women don't want to believe that. They feel like once their son or their daughter tells them, I don't like the way, I'm being treated. I don't like the way you handling me. Anytime a child expresses themselves to their mother or they're acting out, being angry, having disciplinary problems, the first thing black women want to process in their mind is that it has everything to do with the father. Very rarely do they want to take accountability and say, you know what, it must be the way I'm raising him or her, the things that I'm saying, the lifestyle that I'm living around them, the way that I'm conducting myself as a woman around them, has my children questioning my parenting skills. But for the most part, most black women do not want to be questioned or do not want to be corrected or do not want to be critiqued on their parenting style. Even if the child is being constantly put out of school, even if the child is constantly going to juvenile back and forth, even if the child is being hostile, being disrespectful, they still do not want to take any accountability for that child's behavior. It automatically has to do with the father not being there or the father not doing his part. It's always the man is not doing what he's supposed to do. In actuality, we know that's some of it. But we're not going to completely rule that out. But at the same token, you as a black woman, if the majority of the time the child is with you and they're acting out, being disrespectful, talking back, and doing things in which you no longer have any control over their behavior, then you may need to do some self-assessment and look back at what has caused that child to act out of the manner it has caused this child to act out upon. There's so many things in which women are not understanding. A lot of your karma is coming through your children. A lot of your ulterior motives as to why you got that child. A lot of your malicious ways and how you have handled the father when you gave birth to that child to gain power, to gain authority. A lot of your karma comes back through your children. The stuff that you go through, the disrespect that you get. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of single mothers are angry, because they feel like the children are acting out of anger due to the fact that the father that is an absentee parent. And that's the only myth, that's the only narrative that a lot of these bitter single mothers, they want to run with that narrative, that the father ain't shit, the father ain't there, the father don't do nothing. And like I said, we know that's the case to a degree. But at the same time, A lot of what you have implanted into that child's psyche, into that child's mental, has a lot to do with why they're acting out and disrespecting you, and the reason you're catching so much hell. For instance, you have a lot of sisters that are telling young black men and young black women that their father ain't shit. Now, let me tell you something. This is very detrimental to a child's psyche. While you're getting your rocks off as a woman, by thinking you're proving a point to the father by stating that the mom, by stating to the child that the father ain't shit, he's nothing, he don't care about you, he don't love you, he don't support you. In actuality, you're setting that child up for destruction by even programming that into their thoughts. Now, let's say if that is the case, the last thing they need to do is hear it from you. You're not helping them by confirming it. Okay, let children are smart these days. They will eventually find out the father ain't shit. They will eventually find out the father don't care, or the father don't love them, or whatever. That is not your job to bash their father. I don't care how you feel about him with his new life, his new wife, or him in the streets cracked out or whatever. That is not your job to help magnify how pathetic they are, because children do not know how to decipher that mom is only telling me this for my best good, so I don't follow that generational curse, so I don't end up in that situation. A child still looks at their father as a prize, even though you hate his guts, although you can't stand him. And what you're not realizing is you are mentally tormenting that child by consistently telling him and her how no good of a father they have, because you have to realize your emotions are different from your children. And this is another problem that a lot of single mothers are not understanding. Your emotions towards the father is not supposed to go in alignment with the emotions of the child. Y'all emotions are not going to be the same. And I know you're so burnt, hurt, and angry that you need to campaign a hate team when it comes to the father of your child, even if that means recruiting your own child to help you hate that man. And what you're not realizing is you're poisoning your child. Your child should not have emotions of anger before they even an adult, to know how to deal with anger, to learn how to discipline themselves with anger, to know how to conduct themselves with anger. Children don't have the maturity yet to learn how to process anger, to learn how to process resentment. So as a mother, when you're teaching a child to hate or resent at the age of 3, 8, 10, 11, whatever, you're damaging their mental well-being. A child is a child. A child is not supposed to deal with grown woman, bitter grown woman emotions. It's deadly. Telling your child, yo, they daddy ain't shit, you might as well take a needle and just inject it right in them. Just inject it right into their vein. Just go ahead and put some meth or dope, whatever, put a needle and inject it in their vein, because it's serving the same purpose. It's killing them. It's getting you high, but it's killing them. It's a slow death. Whenever a child has a mother who they worship and love, because children love their mothers. So with that being said, women, y'all have a big advantage in programming the mindset of the child, especially if you are the primary parent and the child lives with you. You're doing more harm than help. I get it, sister. I get you bitter. You angry. You feel like he don't do shit. He ain't sending no child support. You see him riding around in his 2022 Cadillac Escalade. But guess what? That is not your job to tell your child how effed up their father is. Because again, you as a grown woman, you cannot process a child's emotions for them. But if some of y'all are so angry, you want that child to feel every fiber of hate that you feel. And that is not fair. That is not fair to that child, for that child to have to adopt your bitter, angry, hostile emotions. That's not fair to your son. That's not fair to your daughter. They don't deserve it. It's not about what you deserve. And that's the problem with a lot of black women. Y'all feel a sense of entitlement when it comes to your children because of what the baby daddy did to you. But the truth is, some of y'all knew what y'all were getting into. You have these babies thinking it's going to give you the upper hand, thinking it's going to give you leverage, thinking it's going to give you power and authority. Then when a child gets here, you see you have no power, you have no authority other than your little rinky-dinky child support you get once a month. Other than that, you can't make him do anything. And the truth is, some men are walking away from being fathers because the mother is so toxic. Now, this is not to give men a pass in being deadbeats. But I will say this. A lot of men cannot deal with their child because of how the mother is. It's unbearable. And I hear women all day, well, how I treat him, what me and him got going, that has nothing to do with my child. He's still supposed to see his son. He's still supposed to spend time with his daughter. Ain't nobody calling you to get no child and if they have to be constantly at verbal wars with you. A lot of these women make it unbearable for a man to even make a simple phone call. You have men who can't even have a decent conversation without a grown woman not understanding how to maintain her anger and hostility, whatever personal things didn't work out with him or her. A lot of these women ain't mature enough to separate the two. You have men, when they call about their child, she wants to bring up what happened between him and her. I can't tell you how many brothers reach out to me. It was like every time I call about my child, she wants to talk about us. Or if we ain't talking about us, she wants to talk about my wife. She wants to talk about my fiance. You already know what a woman's priority is when she automatically wants to talk about something else other than the child. The child is not the priority. If a man is calling and wants to spend time with his child, wants to get him for a weekend and see about him, and you want to go in on money, you want to go in talking about money, you want to go in talking about his wife, you want to go in talking about his fiance, you want to go in talking about child support, increase, you need more money, that your child ain't the priority. Lot of these women, they only want their child to be a priority when it comes to being spiteful or proving a point. But the contradictory in it is when a man tries to make it about the child, then she manipulates the situation and makes it about something else. Because again, it's that bitter breach contract that she can't break from herself. So anyway, back to this point, I almost forgot about this guy who knows this woman is having problems with her son. He was willing to try to get him a job. This broad had the audacity to say, I'm not helping him to get no job. I'm not going to let you take him to go get a job because that's looking out for your best interests. Let that marinate for a minute. I cannot make this up. She said this man offered to get his son because he knows the mother's having trouble with him. She's having disciplinary behavioral issues with him. And a lot of that has to do with the fact is because he's 15 years old, he's not productive. He does not have a job. He sits around an apartment all the day excessively. She bullies him to a degree because, we don't want to talk about that. But I'm also talking about this on another topic. There are a lot of black women who bully their own children to spite the child's father. And that's basically what she did. She rather her son suffer, be miserable, so he can continue to act out, than to let his father help him get a job. And you know what? I bet there are multiple men who go through this. See their son in trouble. See their daughter in trouble. See there's an accident waiting to happen. See that destruction is right around the corner, because a lot of women do not want to give fathers credit, but fathers have parental instincts as well. They can tell that if they don't rescue their son or daughter, some shit is going to go down. A lot of women think we are the only ones blessed with paternal or maternal instincts. When a child has both seeds, has both genetics, both parents can feel when that son or daughter is in trouble. A lot of black women do not want to listen to men when they try to tell them, hey, I need to get my son because from what I'm seeing and from what I'm hearing, he gonna end up in some deep trouble if I don't get him, or if you don't let me help him, or our daughter gonna end up pregnant, or our daughter gonna end up in something heavy if you do not let me get her for the summer to spend time with her to try to line her back up. Black women, some of them, think they are the smartest parents. They will not let these men step in and intercede. And when the grits hit the fan, then they still want to blame the men and say he ain't been shit, he ain't been there. No, because when he tried to be there, you allowed your own maliciousness to block him from saving your child. I hate to say it, a lot of children are going to become a part of the prison system. They're going to become a part of the juvenile system. A lot of them are going to end up in a graveyard, end up in gangs, all because you have some stubborn ass black women who rather prove a point than put a child first. I know some sisters, you got some women that's so bitter. If their child is in trouble and they know they can't even do nothing with them, if the father takes the initiative to say, well, let me spend time with him, let me get him. No, because if I let you get him, then you going to end up with the child support. If I let you get him, then you and your wife going to end up, having him, and that's going to exclude me. Bitter single mothers will come up with all kind of excuses as to why to not relieve their child out of a toxic situation. I know women personally who know their sons are in trouble. And let me tell you something, when it comes to these boys get up and become a certain age, they start handling their mothers all kind of way. And daughters ain't no exception, but it's worse with single mothers having sons, because these young men, depending on how you challenge them, some of these young men have fought their own mothers, have slapped their own mothers, have punched their own mothers. Because again, when there's not a father in the home, that son loses his masculinity when there's not a man in his life giving him that balance. If he's only exposed to a woman, which is his mother, he's constantly around a single mother on the daily basis, he's going to adopt all of her feminine characteristics, her feminine emotions of snapping, getting angry, getting hostile. What do you honestly think that child's behavior is going to be, whether he's a son or a daughter, or daughter female? They're constantly around an evil ass woman. A lot of single mothers are getting back their own karma being so evil because their own children are using that same leverage of evilness towards them. And let me tell you something, this is why a lot of single mothers, they're angry, because everything they programmed and put into that child is coming back to bite them. That child is being disrespectful just like they've always been disrespectful. That child is always in physical confrontations like they've always been in physical confrontations. But you know what she's going to do? She's going to say it's the father's fault. Rather if he tried to be there, rather if he was never there, it's automatically his fault. When in actuality, there are no winners when a child starts acting out and having problems. That two have played a part in it. The father has failed that child somewhere, and so has the mother. There is no, it's just the father, it's just the whatever. But what I'm noticing, a lot of the sisters, a lot of the black women in the black community, they're not going to own nothing. And this is the reason that this is the reason why a lot of sisters are stressed out, because a part of change, first, you got to admit where you are messing up as a parent. If you don't think you ain't doing shit wrong, you're not going to change it. And this is the reason why a lot of women are out here on their own, fighting and struggling and stuck, having to raise these children because, for one, nobody can tell them shit. As a grown woman, I'm 42, and I'm still willing to submit to a certain degree if somebody has something to tell me about my child, which I feel is going to be a benefit to me and her. It was times when my child got out of control, even though me and her father raised her together, I had to talk to other women who had daughters older than me. I didn't go to no older hood rat women. I went to women of class and substance who have had successful children. I asked them, what did they do? What did it take for them to, to raise their children to be successful? Unfortunately, a lot of these bitter, uneducated black females, they don't want to learn from anybody. They feel like their way of doing things is perfectly fine. Even if they see the destruction, even if they see the damage, even if they see the failure, in the back of their mind, they think it's fine. So what if my son is acting out in school, cussing teachers out, coming home, punching holes through the walls? So what? Boys just being boys. That's not that is abnormal hood behavior. But guess what? When you are a hood rat, you see nothing wrong with hood behavior. You have a lot of females that have this hood rat mentality. So when their daughters start acting out in hood rat, their daughters scrapping in the streets, snatching wigs, snatching lace frontals, and stuff like that, they see nothing wrong with it. This is why the black community is so damaged, because of absentee fathers, but mostly toxic single mothers. You have women that would rather let their child suffer because they feel like they're doing the father a favor. I know women who are in the struggle, financially struggling. The father is doing 20 times better, got the money, got the resources, but she's so hell-bent, she would rather have that child stay with her, be miserable, lack resources, lack finances, lack having a better life, just to prove a point. I hate to say it, a lot of children are going to miss out on being blessed and having the best because of bitter, broken single mothers. And a lot of these women, they not getting it. They're not getting why their life is so hard. Now, if your father, baby daddy is straight up deadbeat, just walked away, and you don't even know who he is, then evidently I can't help you. But majority of single mothers are miserable for this reason. They would rather prove a point than to put their bitterness aside and let their child have a better life. I know some females who live in the hood and their fathers live in the suburbs, and she will still let her child stay with her in the hood. I mean, I'm not saying you got to always give up your child, but let the child spend enough of diligent time with the father so he or she knows there's more to life than just the hood. Especially if the father is doing better than you, let them get a taste of another side to life other than just being stuck up under you and raised in the hood. But no, a lot of single mothers, they're not concerned about that. They're concerned about how much money the father's making. They're concerned about his wife, how much money she's making. They're concerned about their house. They're concerned about their cars. They are so infatuated with what the father of their children have, or what the father of their children are doing. They cannot even allow their children to enjoy that. So what if he's living in the big house? Don't that mean your child is going to have a nice house to stay in when he goes there? So what if him and his wife makes a lot of money? Doesn't that mean your child going to be well provided for when they're over there? You have a lot of children, unfortunately, that are going to lose out on having a good life because their mothers are so bitter. She'd rather prove a point than help this child be successful. And if you are a mother that's doing that, for all single moms, you're so angry because of what transpired between you and this man. Maybe he did fail you. Maybe he did lie to you. Maybe he did make you believe there was a possibility there was going to be a relationship. Because we do know men lie. Some. Maybe he did have you hoping for a dream. Or maybe he didn't even give you no incentive that it was a relationship. You made yourself believe it was one because you kept sleeping with him. You kept creeping with him. As grown women, we know better. A lot of us try to lie to ourselves. You know when the only time this man coming over to see you to smash, you know what position you put yourself in. This man never took you to a public place. Never treated you like you was his woman. He didn't introduce you to his friends. Didn't take you none of his family events. You knew what it was. Some of you did some dirty ass stuff to get these children here. You don't have to tell me, baby, I don't know it, but you and your Lord and Savior, you know the deal. You know you poke condoms. You knew you lied and stopped using birth control. You know you've done a lot of sneaky undercover stuff because men don't know our bodies. Women, we know our bodies. We know how to calculate our ovulation. We know to stop taking, when we stop taking our birth control, within a certain amount of weeks, it's going to wear off. Y'all know exactly what y'all do, and y'all play victim all the time. And it's not victim. It's karma's coming back to pay its debts. Because let's face it, I don't care what nobody say. Some people going to feel some type of way when I say this. Every child is not a blessing. I ain't trying to hear it. I've seen, let me tell you how delusional some black women are. I've seen what black women have children from one night stands and say, my child is still a blessing. I've seen women get pregnant from married men and say, my child is still a blessing. I've seen women get married, have a child from men that already have multiple baby mamas, and she would say, my child is still a blessing. Not saying that children are innocent and it's not their fault because they didn't have to be here, but every child ain't a blessing, not according to how you got him or her here. If a man had to cock you up in the back of an alley, in a hotel room, in your Section A apartment, and you knew there was no relationship, there was no marriage, I'm sorry, sis, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Your child is not a blessing. Play with it if you want to. I'm not about to sit up here and pamper the fuckery. Some children should have not come here. But because of two irresponsible adults, it happened. And now the children are here to suffer. A lot of children are going to miss out on the blessings of having two parents who can genuinely support them, genuinely love them, all because there was no genuineness in the beginning before the child was even conceived. A lot of these children was conceived off of Hennessy. A lot of these children was conceived off of weed. A lot of these children was conceived through a low moment just because both people were feeling sorry for themselves. A lot of children weren't conceived off of a good foundation. And I'm tired of the black community pushing that lie that children are a blessing. No, they're not. Not if you brought them here the wrong way. They're not a blessing. And guess what? God don't bless no mess. That's why a lot of you suffering and you struggling. You men paying child support out the ass, and you women up here struggling, fighting by yourselves to raise these children, and you angry because you tired. You need a break. These men won't intervene because you too nasty. You flip at the mouth. You disrespectful. You don't know how to humble yourself to ask him and say, I sincerely need your help. A lot of you are so biggity, you don't think you need to do that because child support and food stamps, the government got you already feeling like you're entitled. So you feel like you supposed to. Somebody's supposed to kiss your ass. Just because the government do it, that don't mean everybody else has to. And even the government ain't kissing your ass too much. They sending you certain restrictions. Telling you they're going to only give you a certain amount of things to a certain amount of time. You mess up with the government wrong, they'll cut you off. They catch you doing fraud behavior or something like that, whatever, then you get cut off from them too. Black women are single mothers. And I'm talking about your trailer park Becky's too. Y'all not exempt because I'm seeing a lot of y'all having all these mixed babies in a mixed up ass situation. Women are lacking womb care. You don't care who you allow to impregnate your womb. And then want to play victim when you realize you bit off more than you could chew. When you realize the responsibilities outweigh the rewards. What good is getting $800, $900 worth of food stamps when you have 5, 6 little ones that need clothes, need shoes? Food stamps don't pay for that. You're frustrated because you're waiting on child support. You got to depend on him to put money on the books. Some of you mad because your baby daddies they ain't doing nothing. They don't put nothing on the books. Half of y'all don't even know where these Negroes at. Because you didn't know them when you were smashing them. You barely knew them then. You're not walking around here being bitchy, being bitter, being angry and hateful for nothing. It's a lot of reasoning behind that, and a lot of it has to do with the fact you failed to make better choices as a woman. You lacked womb care. You did not protect yourself. You knew he was a bum. You knew he was married. You knew he was not a dependable boyfriend. Lot of women, y'all see trouble and you play with fire anyway. There are women who are intentionally making bad decisions. And when the outcome turns out horrible, now they want to do victim shaming. They want to sit up here and blast the father of their children. Try to make things difficult and complicated because basically they put themselves in a poverty situation. And then the truth be told, a lot of these women are not going to be honest. And I'm not saying anybody that's a single mother should feel ashamed of themselves or should belittle themselves. But what I'm saying is, a lot of women need to stop glamorizing the struggle of being a single mother. A lot of these women are under a lot of pressure. They got a lot of baggage on them. And truth is, a lot of them, too, unfortunately, have burnt a lot of bridges to the point to where nobody wants to support them. I mean, you have a lot of single mothers out here who have lost so many blessings. The father of their children have stepped down because they can't deal with the attitude. They can't deal with the bitchiness. They can't deal with the drama. They can't deal with the toxicity. They can't deal with it. And the only way they can have any type of peace, they got to back off and allow her to do it all on her own because they don't want to catch a case. They don't want problems in their household with their wives, with their fiance, whatever. It's just extra curriculum garbage that a lot of men just don't have the patience or the tolerance for. And not only that, a lot of these women, they don't get support from their own families. Their own mothers, some of them, their own mamas don't even want to keep their kids for them because they have used their mothers, they have lied to their mothers, Or when mothers do step in and help with one, here it is, she getting pregnant again with a second one. And the mother help them out with two. Okay, here it is, she pregnant on her third. Every time family steps in, sometimes the support and look out. They just keep accumulating more baggage on top of the baggage that the family already is stuck having to help them deal with. And a lot of the times, a lot of these women are very selfish, ungrateful, and they think that other people, their mothers, their fathers, their sisters, should feel obligated to helping them take care of their children. Again, this comes from lack of womb care. Because if you was caring for your womb, you wouldn't be getting frustrated because your mama won't keep your kids, or because your baby daddy acting flaky as hell and he don't want to keep them, because you have already prepared yourself for the responsibility. So if anybody does help or step in, it's a bonus, not an obligation. They helping you only because they choose to, not because you are dependent on them to do so. It's a difference when people keep in your children because they want to help versus you need their help, because people get burnt out real quick. And a lot of these single mothers are bridge burners. They have burnt bridges with family. They have burnt bridges with friends, people who have stepped in because they claim they baby daddy ain't shit or whatever. So it's people who sympathize and empathize for them, stepped in only to get burnt the same way. Again, this comes from lack of womb care. Women not caring for their wombs, not seeing a chaotic situation before you make the ultimate decision to conceive. And I hear it all the time. Well, I didn't know he was like that. You know how many times if I had to put a nickel in my pocket every time I asked certain women, what made you get pregnant from him? I didn't know he was like that. When I hear that phrase, to me, when a woman says, I didn't know he was like that, either A, you wasn't with him long enough to get to see what he was really like. Maybe you let him smash within a week, within a month. Because let's be faced, a lot of these women are going to be honest and tell you how quickly they allow these men to smash. But they will come with that excuse, well, he wasn't like that. Well, you wasn't with him long enough to know what he was like. Okay? Or I gathered maybe he wasn't an ain't shit dude at that point in time, but either he changed or indefinitely you did. Because let's face it, sex, and especially when children is involved, it changes things. Sometimes it changes things for the good, but in most changes, it changes for the bad. Because sometimes once a woman knows she has a child from a man, her leverage gets to her head, she gets disrespectful, she gets out of pocket. So the father of the child starts to see things in her he didn't see when he was smashing her. So reality sets in like, damn, this bitch is crazy. I can't even have a civil relationship with my child without her, making things difficult. Or you as the woman, now you seeing his true colors. He was whining you and dining you, long as there was no children involved. But see, now that there's a responsibility, sometimes the chemistry or the dynamics of the relationship changes once a child is involved. Especially, and what a lot of women are not understanding is, a lot of the times too, when you did not sit and plan with these men, a lot of women don't want to face that. You have a lot of women who feel like once they have a child, a man is supposed to automatically comply no matter what. Okay, boom, I'm pregnant. We were smashing. He was hitting it raw. I was letting him hit it raw. Okay, a child is here. He's supposed to automatically comply. To a certain degree, I agree with it, but to a major degree, I don't. If y'all did not sit down and discuss this, and that's the problem. It's a lot of smashing, but there's no communicating. It's a lot of fornicating, but no communicating. Nobody communicates. It's sad, but the black community, they will have sex with somebody before they really get a genuine understanding of what both of their motives are. Southern Chick Creations specializes in making customized tumblers and many other accessories. We make customized tumblers for bridal showers, baby showers, sports events, commercial and private organizations, businesses, anniversaries, and many special occasions. We make tumblers for sports fanatics, law enforcement personnel, first responders, nurses. Maybe you have a favorite music artists or tumblers for jokes and laughs are also a plus. Southern Chick Creations makes customized tumblers for $20 each. Shipping and handling is an additional fee that can vary from $8 to $10 for out-of-town orders. Not only are tumblers stylish, but they serve great insulation. Tumblers can hold ice and cold beverages up to 12 hours. Tumblers can hold hot beverages up to 6 hours or more, so you don't have to keep microwaving hot beverages or keep cold drinks refrigerated when out and about or on the job. Let us make your favorite tumbler with style and Southern hospitality. Order today. Today they're on special for $18 only. Limited time offer. But as I was stating, in all honesty, lack of womb care is the reason why so many sisters are just miserable. And so many of them are feeling the weight and they are carrying the majority of the load of the responsibilities because they're not being selective about who they conceive from. Now, I understand there are some exceptions, there are some factors. Some women are single mothers because either the father of their children were murdered by living a reckless lifestyle, being out there in the streets, not taking care of home. Some women are single mothers because maybe they're the father of the children are in the military, so they're consistently having to carry the majority of the burden on their own. So it's several factors, but in those instances you're not so much at fault. But I'm speaking to the ones who know exactly what they are doing. And the truth is, a lot of us, we've been schooling these sisters years ago about this. Okay. If you check my resume and look into my archives, I have been schooling sisters about lack of womb care and not being selective and not making wise choices as far as the type of men who they choose to breed children from. I've been speaking on this since 2017. You got all of these people coming out of the woodworks now that's getting all these praise and accolades like they're the only ones, as if they're the first ones who've been telling women, to choose wisely all along. It's a lot of content creators way before Kevin Samuels, way before all of these new school content creators who just been coming out. A lot of us been trying to put these sisters on game, and the game wasn't as relevant then as it is now. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason why there's so many content creators now getting a lot of shine and getting a lot of hype for it because it's becoming way more. The problem now is becoming more magnified to where people are willing to listen more to the content now compared to then back in 2016, 2017, whatever, when this problem was first initially addressed. So it's been a lot of people speaking on this, but as I was stating, this is the reason why I feel as if a lot of sisters are really at a disadvantage, and the reason why a lot of them are so angry and so unfortunately, it has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of them are stuck with the decisions that they can't get rid of. They are stuck with the bad choices that they made. And the constantly, every time they look at their children, they got to constantly be reminded of that. This is what I made. This is what I got to deal with. You have women up here getting knocked up from dudes who've already displayed they're not good father material. They're getting knocked up from men that got multiple children from other women, or men that are consistently in and out of the correctional system, men who don't have any healthy track record of wholesome relationships. Every woman he's ever been with, he's only been with them for like a couple of months. Anytime you meet a dude that does not have a track record of being stable with women, you already know what you're signing up for. Again, he has 4 or 5 baby mamas, you know what you're signing up for. If he's living with you, you had to move him into your place because he didn't have a place. You know what you signed up for. If you have to lend him your car, he has to drive your car, you know what you're signing up for. Lot of sisters they could see a man producing reckless penis behavior. And yet, for some strange reason, they choose to partake in sexual activity with these men. And when shit go left, or the child is conceived and brought here, now they're angry with all men, saying how all men, they gain this feminist attitude of all men ain't shit, when it's not all men, it's just your man ain't shit. But that's who you chose. At the end of the day, I will always say this: women, with the ball is in our court. We get to choose who we share our womb. We get to choose. We have all rights in that. Now, that's one thing a man can never control, is a woman's womb. That is something we will always have the upper hand. As a woman, if you don't have any children, all my sisters out here who don't have kids, all of my sisters out here who are not baby mamas, let me tell you ladies something. You got the choice. Your future depends on the man you allow to help you breed your seed. Your future depends on the father of your child. The man you choose is going to dictate the outcome of your child's life. Choosing the right man, ladies, will save you from a lot of headaches. You don't have to fight and wrestle with child support. You don't have to stand in long lines to apply for housing because he ain't man enough to help you, raise a child together so y'all can get a home together to raise a child together. I really believe that the majority of Black women would not be as angry if they made better decisions with the type of men they chose. A lot of the anger comes from the type of men they chose. I know, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Only difference was I didn't have kids from any of the clowns I dated back in my past before I got married, because I saw them for what they were. I said, there's no way in the world I'm going to have any crumb snatchers from this clown. He's not consistent. He doesn't call when he's supposed to call. He reneges on dates. We plan dates, and he doesn't come through. Just the smallest little bit of disappointment, I just would not put my life in harm's way by having a child with some of these dudes, the way I see them move out here. And that's what I'm telling all of these ladies, and I tell my daughter the same way. Whatever foundation is already present, currently occurring between the both of you, if y'all already got a toxic relationship, he already lies, disappoint, doesn't come through on the small favors you asking him. Your tire bust on the side of the highway, you call him, he's saying he coming and he never come. Is that somebody you want to have a child from? A man who's constantly bitching about child support. Do you want to, he already paying too much. Do you want to add another one to his collection? And I said this on one of my other contents in my archives years ago. Pay attention to a man's struggle. Pay attention. He got the bum rides to get back and forth to work. Hell, your ass got to be the one to pick him up and drop him off for work. He's in a struggle. He can't afford no children from you. He's staying with his homeboy. They all 5 of them got to split the rent 5 ways. That already tells you he's not father material ready. It's sad, but I got to tell some Black women this, and this ain't no disrespect to the men out here who handling their business and do what they were supposed to do, but I got to tell these sisters this, because a lot of y'all not getting it. Y'all not paying attention to the red flags. Pay attention to a man's struggle. And even if he's not struggling, you see he's enjoying his bachelorism. He's had his own apartment for 30-something years, never been married, and boom, you want to get pregnant, and y'all never made an agreement. Y'all never talked about having a relationship or being together. You going to be on your own, even if the man is financially well off making money. So it ain't just the struggle dudes that you got to watch out for. You got to watch out for the successful ones. Because men that are successful and very driven, they not about to let a woman who's pregnant with carrying a child intervene in their plans and their goals. Yeah, they'll have the money and the resources, the finance for the child compared to a struggle dusty, but at the same token, he's not about to orchestrate and change his whole life based just to center around a child. It would be nice, but women, we have to be realistic. I met guys who was financially well off, wasn't in a struggle, but I knew they wasn't father material. No, he's a bachelor. He has a condo, has all his money, but he's a player. He deals with multiple women. This is what I'm saying. It's basic common sense. This is not something that people should have to teach us on YouTube. A lot of sisters, y'all up there, y'all smashing a dude right now who you know can't even put gas in your car. You smashing a dude right now who you know already bitching about paying child support. You see how he cusses out his baby mama. You see how his baby mama cussing him out because she ain't getting no money from him in 2-3 months, and he's sitting on the passenger side of your ride, bitching and arguing with his baby mama. A lot of y'all playing a lot of mind games, acting like you don't want children, and you know you do. You're not taking your birth control, lying to men, deceiving men, making them feel comfortable to be unprotected with you because you lying. Making it seem like, oh, I don't want no children. I'm focusing on my career, my goals, knowing you want children. Up here lying and playing mind games, lying and saying you on birth control, knowing you been stopped taking it. Lying and saying you got your tubes tied, knowing you didn't. And then again, when things backfire, you want to play the victim baby daddy ain't shit role. And it's old and it's tiresome. But ladies, you got to do better with the womb care. Care for your womb. Your womb is your responsibility. Your womb is like your house. Listen, do you just leave your door? Let me ask y'all something. Let me give y'all a simple analogy to make it simple. All of us who live in an apartment, live in a house, when you come in your house, do you leave your door wide open? Let me ask y'all something. When you go in your house, do you leave your door wide open? You know you about to go down. You know you about to go to sleep. You know you about to take a hot bath, a hot shower. You know you about to get buckety naked. Are you going to leave your door wide open? Hell no, you not. You know why? Because you are not about to put yourself in harm's way, leaving your door wide open for somebody to come in and rob you, for somebody to come in and rape you, for somebody to come in and vandalize your home or whatever. You're not about to leave your door wide open. If you have that much protection of your house, why you don't have that same amount of protection of your womb? Leaving your womb open is like leaving the door open to your house. It means anybody can intrude. Anybody can take advantage. And guess what happens when you leave your door wide open? You give people access to damage your house. That is the same way it works, ladies, with your womb. When you leave your womb open, you give these struggle dusties, all these high value bachelor men who not willing to give up their single lifestyle, you give them access to leave you with the baggage. But anyway, y'all, I've rambled long enough with this topic. But anyway, before I get ready to shut things down, letting all of you know, I am still selling cable, 9,000 channels, only $25 a month, but I will do it for $20 a month. If anybody emails me and reaches me out today, you will get 9,000 channels, all your stars, all your HBOs. You got to have good internet connection, y'all. You have to at least have 30 megabytes per second or higher, or else the app is going to suck. So if you don't have good internet or you're not too cheap to invest in good Wi-Fi, I don't suggest you get the app because you're going to be disappointed. I'm selling tumblers as well. Southern Chick Creations. This is my new business, my new adventure that I started. So be on the lookout for that as well. Also, last but not least, I am selling my hair oil and my beard oils, $8 a bottle. So hit me up, guys, if you're interested in getting some homemade beard oil. Keep that beard looking so fresh and so clean. Ladies, same thing with my hair oil for all of my sisters that are struggling with hair follicles, hair loss, things of that nature. My hair oil is definitely will be an asset to you. I make it from out of my kitchen. I've had a lot of positive results so far. And last but not least, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. I'm definitely, schooling y'all, putting y'all on game, so make sure you look out for y'all, for your girl. Hit that like button. Those of you who want to donate, the Cash App, $DymondGyrl. Those of you who cannot donate, that is quite all right. Just make sure you share the video. If you like the video, I'll be just as grateful if you do so. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to get ready to shut it down. It's your girl, your diva. And knowledge, Lady Mocha, represent Mocha's Cafe. They're Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Be blessed. Take care.